of Greater Mumbai. I am Sonali Shankar Kale from Varshanagar, Mumbai Public School. This is our sixth standard and we will teach history of India. In our last lecture, we have learned about ancient kingdoms of the south. And today I am going to teach you about the culture of ancient India. Here some objectives are there. First one, to know the history of early India. From this lesson, we are going to learn about the history of early India. Second, to analyze how a mix of indigenous and foreign influence shaped Indian culture. Through this lecture, we will analyze how the impacts of foreign countries on our Indian culture. Third one, to know the art and literature of ancient India. Here we will learn about the art and literature of ancient period. Understand the life of the people of ancient India. In this lesson, we will learn about how the people were lived in ancient period. Last one, to analyze basic ideas and values of various religions and system of thought during ancient period. Here we will learn about the idea and values of the different kinds of religions of our India and their systems also. We will learn how their system were in ancient period. So let's start. First one, Sangam literature. First of all, we will see that what is mean by, sorry for the disturbance. What is mean by Sangam? Here, Sangam means gathering of learned men. It also means association of Tamil people. It is most ancient literature in Tamil. Sangam literature is most ancient literature which was written in Tamil. Two well-known epics are as follows. The most famous epics of Sangam literature are as follows. First one, Silappatikaram, and second one, Mani Mekhalai. We learn about the political and social life in South during the period. In this period, how the people's political and social life was here in this period we are learn. Oldest extant Tamil work till date. Here word is given extant. It means in from in the present also that is literature uh, was in Tamil language. Dated between 4th and 5th century CE. Sangam literature between 4th and 5th century of century era. Offers information on social life, human psychology, political, economical conditions during the Sangam age. Sangam literature gives information about social life and human psychology. Psychology means study of behavior of the peoples and also the political and economical condition of that people during the Sangam age. Also discuss the Tamil grammar. In Sangam literature, there were explanation or discussion about the Tamil grammar also. The work is into three sections. First one, each section are further divided into 9 chapters. The Sangam literatures divided into three sections. Each section further divided into 9 chapters also. Contains a total of 1612 sutras, which are extensive in their range. In that literature, 1612 sutras explain. Sanskrit influence on this work. Sanskrit influence on this work is peripheral and little. The Sanskrit influence is very little in the Sangam literature. Now see the first epic of Sangam literature, that Silapatikaram. What given this story revolves around the Anglet. The name literally means the tail of an Anglet. Silapathikaram is a literature hello hello
Yeah, ma'am, continue.
okay. The chief character is Kanagi, who seeks revenge on the Pandya kingdom for her husband who was wrongly put to death. In this literature, the main character is Kanagi, and the whole story is about the Kanagi and about his fight against the Pandya kingdom, and also about the anklet of her anklet also. The poem gives a lot of insight into contemporary Tamil society, values, and social life of the people. This poem also gives the information about the Tamil society, polity, values, and social life of the people also. Here now the second one epics. uh, Mani Mekhalai. It is a sequel to Silapathikaram. Sequel means it is the next part of the literature Silapathikaram. The author's aim was to propagate Buddhism in South India, as well as the work espouse the values of Buddhism over other religions of the time. In this literature, the propagation of Buddhism, it means expand, Buddhism expand is given through this literature in South India. Now let's see. Do you know about the main what we say uh, extra information regarding knowledge language? First one, language in the region from North India up to Maharashtra are derived from Prakrit and Sanskrit. The language in the region from North India up to Maharashtra, North India to Maharashtra, the language are derived from Prakrit and Sanskrit. The word Prakrit is derived from a word meaning natural. It means Prakrit means natural. The Prakrit language were used in daily life by the people. The people use the Prakrit language in day to day life. Original forms of Marathi language is Apabhraj language. Marathi language is originated from Apabhramsh language. Now see what is given in the religious literature. Here we are going to see about the main literature of the ancient period. The important text include in this period, that is first one is Jain Agar Granthas, second one is Tripitaka, and third one is Bhagavad Gita. Let's see the first one, Jain Agar Agam Granth. First one, a collection of teaching of Vardhaman Mahavir. In that literature, what is given? The collection of teaching of Vardhaman Mahavir is given, and this literature's language is in Prakrit language. Prakrit languages of Ardha Magdi and Maharashtri. Second one is Samay Sutta. This literature is in Prakrit language and wrote by Siddhasen Divakar. Second one is Paumcharya. This is also wrote by Vimal Suri. This literature tells us about the story of Rama in poetic work. It is also present in a Prakrit language. Next one, Haribhardus Suri was wrote Samarai Cha Kaha. The writer and literature's names is given. Next one, Udyotan Suri wrote Kuvalayama, Kuvalyamalaha Kaha. This is the name of the literature. Now see what is given in Tripitaka. Here Tripitaka and Tripitaka is similar. First one, Tripitak. Pitak means has three pitaks. Pitak means parts, and three means three. Tri, it means three, and pitak means parts. The word pitak means a basket or collection. It's one kind of basket or collection. Tripitak is written in Pali, and the Tripitak um, was in Buddhism religion. Here, first of all, we will see uh, about the Buddha. About we will learn about the Gautam Buddha, and after that, I will explain you about Tripitak. Now, for this, to learn more about Lord Gautam Buddha, I am going to share the video of Gautam Buddha. So, listen it carefully.
Gautam Buddha. Gautam Buddha was born to the king and queen of Kapil. Gautam Buddha born king queen Kapilavastu as Siddhartha around 66 BC. Soon after his birth, an astrologer predicted that he was destined to live his life as a saint by abdicating the throne and giving up all worldly pleasures. His parents Shuddhodana and Maya shattered the news and tried to prevent this from happening by keeping a close watch on him and sheltering him from the outside world. His parents hoped that he would get used to the luxuries of the palace and therefore never die. At age 16, he was married to Yashodhara, the beautiful daughter of a nobleman. Curiosity grew with age, and one day he asked his charioteer to take him on a tour of the city. The first person they came across was an old man who seemed very frail. The charioteer explained that along with age comes weakness and failing health. Siddhartha seemed weak and frail. The charioteer explained that along with age comes weakness and failing health. He then came across a sick man who was in great pain, and finally, a procession carrying a dead body to the cremation ground. He was told that everyone would die one day and leave this world. At the end of the tour, he chanced upon a sage who appeared calm and serene. And after inquiring, Siddharth was told that such men give up their worldly possessions in search of inner peace. Siddharth was deeply troubled by his first experience of the outside world. He decided that to answer all his questions about life and death, he would have to leave the palace and give up palatial life. At the age of 29, Siddharth left the palace one night while his wife and son were still sleeping. After trying different ways to find the path of truth, he finally reached the city of Bodh Gaya and started that every ways to find the path of truth. He finally reached the city of Bodh Gaya and started meditating under a large fig tree. After 49 days of meditation, at the age of 35, Siddharth attained enlightenment. From that day on, he was known as Buddha, or the awakened one.
So in this video, we have learned about how Siddhartha become a Buddha. So Buddhist text here, the most important source of Buddhism are the Tripitaka. It means the Tripitaka explain the thoughts of the Buddhas. Tripitaka written in the Pali language. They are first one Sutta Pitak, second one Vinay Pitak, and third one is Adhi Dhamma. Adhi Dhamma Pitak. Here, Buddha Charitra is also given. It is an epic poem composed in Sanskrit by Ashwaghosh in the early 2nd century AD. Buddha Charitra is the epic poem which is in Sanskrit language, and it is tells us about the life of the Buddha. Let's see about the parts of the Pitak. First one, Sutta Pitak. It includes the text of Gautam Buddha's teaching or sermons. It means that the Sutta Pitak explain us about the text of Gautam Buddha's thoughts of Gautam Buddha's and their teaching also. After that, Sutta Pitak, they are called as suktas. It means those person who is teaches us or who is giving knowledge us about the thoughts and thoughts of the Buddhas, that peoples are called as suktas. Second one, Vinay Pitak. The word Vinay means rules. The Vinay Pitak gives rules of behavior which bhikkhus and bhikkhunis in the Buddha Sangh should follow in their day-to-day lives. Vinay means rules, and Vinay Pitak means rules of behavior. It means how to behave the rules of that behavior is given. And to whom these rules are going to follow? To follow the bhikkhus. Bhikkhus means the monk of the Buddhas, Buddhism, and bhikkhunis means the female monks who gives the us the information about the Buddhas. Last one, it contains a discussion on how to interrupt and understand the Buddha's teaching. Let's see what is given the religious literature part, that is Bhagavad Gita. In this picture, you have seen that what is given uh, the Bhagavad Gita is in a discourse of between Krishna and the Arjun set in a uh, see here in this picture Krishna and Arjun is we are seeing it, and the Bhagavad Gita, it is the religious text of the Hindus, which is also part of the Mahabharata. And Bhagavad Gita tells us that each one of us should do our duty like studying Vivas. It means that without any kind of expectation, we do our work. Don't be a selfish and do good works to others also. This main moral, or this main teaching is given in the Bhagavad Gita. It also says that the path of devotion to God is open to all. Now let's see what is given the next part, that is Adi Shankaracharya. And let's see what is given first. Here in this pics you can see about the Adi Shankaracharya, who was born in the year of 805 AD. And in this picture you have seen about the Adi Shankaracharya's father and the mother also. Adi Shankaracharya lived during the 8th century of CE, and he also explained his thoughts in the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita. He established four muds in four direction of India. First one at the Badrinath, second one at the Dwarka, third one at the Jagannath Puri, and fourth one at the Sri Nagargiri. Let's see what is given in treatise on grammar. Here, Ashtadhyayi. Here, what is the Ashtadhyayi, written by the grammarian Panini, who work on the Sanskrit grammar. In this picture, you also seen that Panini was working and their literature in Sanskrit grammar. Patanjali wrote Mahabhashya. It explained the principles given in Panini's Ashtadhyayi. Patanjali wrote Mahabhashya, the literature of Mahabhashya, which was which explain the principles given in Panini's Ashtadhyayi. Let's see what is given Arthashastra. Do you know that who wrote the Arthashastra? That is Kautilya. Here in this pics you can see that what is given in the Arthashastra. In Arthashastra, it contains the details administrative matters such as duties of king, criteria, selection of a minister, how to rule their kingdoms, again systems of defense of the forts, then formation of army. This kind of works, the detailed information of administration matters is given in the Artha Shastra, who wrote by Kautilya. Now let's see what is given in the Arsha and the classical epics. Arsha means composed by rishis and the sages. Here, the first one we can see that the Ramayana. The Ramayana was composed by the Rishi Valmiki. Ramayana was composed by Rishi Valmiki. In this picture, you can see the Ram and his wife Sita and his brother Lakshmana also. The Ramayana is one of the largest ancient epics in world literature. It also describe about the life of a Rama and a legendary prince of Ayodhya city. In this in this literature, the whole narration about the life of a Rama. Next, the Mahabharata. Mahabharata epic has been composed by the sage Vyas. Mahabharata has been composed by sage Vyas. Vyas. Its main theme is the war between the Kauravas and Pandavas. We all see this kind of Ramayana and Mahabharata for television also. So in this epics, what is given? This epics tells us about the Lord Krishna's life. In Ramayana, we will see about the life of Rama, and in Mahabharata, we will know about the Lord Krishna's life. It provides comprehensive picture of the various human sentiments, emotions, and their consequence also. Raghuvansh and Kumar Sambhavas by Kalidas. Here again another literature names are given. Then again, which name is given? Yes, yes. Kiratarjun by Bharvi, and next one Shishupal Palavad by Megha. These are the literatures, religious literature. Next one, theatre. India has an ancient tradition of telling a story through songs, music, and dance. India gives a story of their traditions through the songs, music, and dance also. These arts have been discussed in great detail uh, in the Natya Shastra by Bharat Muni. When these arts are presented with support, they are known as theatre. When these types of arts presented with supporting, they are called as theatres. First one example of the theatres. Here the first one, what is given? Swapnavas Swapnavas Datta by Bhash. The Bhash was the writer of the Swapnavas Datta. Next one, Abhigyan Shakuntal by Kalidas. This kind of two theatre who wrote by Bhas and Kalidas. Let's see what is mean by narrative literature. Here in the narrative literature, what is given? The storytelling used to educate people through entertainment. The information gives the people through entertainment, through a storytelling way. Here, the Gunadhyas Brihat Katha written in a language called Paishachi. Here is also one of the example of narrative literature. Next one, Pandit Vishnu Sharma composed Panchatantra and Buddha Jatak tales. Here, two examples of the narrative literature. We all know about the Panchatantra and Buddha Jatak tales also. Here, the short stories are given to entertain the people with a moral. Let's see what is given in the life of the people. In ancient Indians form and ate things like grapes, dates, and wheats and melons also. After that, three meals per a day. For example, breakfast, lunch, and the dinner also. In ancient India, the teacher was called a guru. Teacher called as guru, and they teach. And these gurus were very much respected. So much that his sons was less important on the social hierarchy than the guru. It means the importance of gurus is very important for the people in the ancient period. society was different castes also, and their organized were called Shrenis. Trade was carried out by sea as well as land routes also. The goods exports, for example, precious stones, spices, pottery, and demand, and where is demand in the foreign countries. These things are has great demands. The main crops were rice, wheat, and masoor also. They also eat milk, fish, and ghee and fruits also. They wore cotton garments and silk and woolen garments. Okay, they also the concept of stitching cloths was introduced in India during the Kushan periods. In the Kushan period, the stitching of cloths, the concept was concept introduced. So let's give a recapitulation. Now I'm going to ask some questions and all the students will give answer. My first question is the epic Ramayana was composed by, fill in the blanks. The first one, the epic Ramayana was composed by Rishi. Who Ramayana said that or said Rishi Valmiki? Yes, reply me. Ramayana was composed by yes. Next one. India during the which period? Just now I explained that the concept of stitching cloths was introduced in India during the Kushan period. Here again, Panchatantra composed by whom? Who composed the Panchatantra? Yes, anyone? Here name is also given. Panchatantra composed by Pandit Vishnu Sharma. And the word Vinay means rules. So here the assignment for the students, explain what is meant by Tripitaka. What second one, what is the message of Bhagavad Gita? Third one, what is meant by Sangam literature? Fourth one, write a short note on lives of the people in ancient India. And the last one, choose any tale from Panchatantra and narrate it in your words. This is your assignment of our uh, first part of the lesson, that is ancient India culture. So thank you for listening me.